All right, I'd like to call our regular scheduled meeting to order for Greenwood School District 52. And at this time, I'd like to ask Miss Sophie George if she'll come lead us in our prayer. Will everyone please stand?
Please bow your heads.
Dear Jesus, thank you for bringing us all here today. I pray that you would guide and help all the students be safe and make good decisions. Please give comfort to Coach McDonald and his family and all of Carson's friends. Thank you for 96 and how we support each other. Help everybody be kind, and thank you for giving us the chance to learn. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Reynolds if he'd lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ray's here. Okay. All righty, at this time, I'd like to get a motion and a second to affirm our agenda.
I'll make a motion that we affirm the agenda as printed.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, now I need to, you've got your minutes in front of you from the April 11th monthly meeting and then our April 28th call meeting. I'll need a motion and a second to have those minutes approved, please.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Because there's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Aye.
There's Mr. Reverend Pigram, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All righty, at this time, are there any board comments?
Yeah, I just want to say that we appreciate our teachers. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, so we appreciate the teachers and the jobs that they do here. And also want to say that it's good to be a part of a district that reaches out the way we do when we have our own members and employees and students and that have suffered a loss. So it's good to be a part of a community like 96.
I echo those same comments as well. We do have a great staff, great teachers in our district, and we thank you for all the work that you do to provide for our students, and also to our middle school and to our elementary school. We do extend our sympathy to you guys, and know that you've got a board that's behind you 100% and a district that's behind you. Okay. Any public comments? I don't think anybody signed up tonight. So we'll go ahead and do our Heart of the Wildcat Awards. Miss Kelly Graham.
Good evening. I have 4. I'll be playing catch up tonight. So I would like for Miss Terry Cheney to come up. She is my first teacher of the month. Miss Cheney is a first grade teacher at 96 Primary School. She's an excellent teacher and leader within our school. Can I tell them how many years? Sure. Do you mind if I tell them? She has been in education for 40 years and has made, yes. And she has made such an impact at 96 Primary School. Her dedication to the school, to the students within our community is a blessing that will last for many years to come. On a personal note, anytime that I needed a calming voice to reassure me through anything, I would always go to Miss Cheney. Although I'm very sad that she is leaving us this year, I think I have talked her into subbing. I've given her the phone number. She has verbally agreed. So I'm excited that she will hopefully still be in our building. I'm glad that after 40 years of dedication, she will be able to devote some time to her family and to her grandchildren. And thank you all for all that you have done for 96 Primary School and Greenwood District 52. Our staff member of the month is Miss Doobie Terry. Miss Terry is a kindergarten teaching assistant at 96 Primary School. She is thoughtful, she is understanding, she always is willing to lend a helping hand. She's consistent with her small groups, and it shows through her and Miss Bird's student scores this year. Anytime you walk into her classroom and Miss Bird's classroom, there are always 2 small groups going, and their scores this year were amazing. It was tremendous growth. So Miss Terry always has a smile and always has a positive attitude. We are very thankful for Miss Terry and that she's a part of our school at 96 Primary School. Our next teacher of the month is Miss Teresa Mejia. Miss Mejia has jumped into the RTI role here at 96 Primary School this year. She moved to 96 all the way from California, and she has adjusted nicely. She's brought many new strategies and interventions into the RTI classroom this year. She is always dependable and always willing to help our students grow in the classroom and see success. With the end of the year nearing, I've had several staff members that have come to me and commented on the progress of their students that go to Miss Mejia throughout the days. She has helped our students make tremendous growth from the beginning of the school year until now. This is attributed to the consistent support and love that Miss Mejia gives our students each and every day. So thank you for all that you do for our students, Miss Mejia.
Thank you.
And last but not least, our support staff of the month, Miss Lisa Moon. Miss Moon is a staff member that could never be replaced. She is everywhere, from the computer lab, to the stream lab, to helping with the yearbook, to subbing in the classrooms, to pulling small groups for testing, to helping in the office. Anytime I think of Miss Moon, I think back to COVID, when she was anywhere and everywhere that I needed her. We had, just like any school, troubles keeping a teacher or teacher assistant in the classroom at all times, and I would go to her in an instant, and she would be ready to help us out. So she was a tremendous asset during that time. She's always asking how she can help. She's always willing to do what is needed during our days at 96 Primary School. I'm personally thankful for the positive attitude that she has, even when her day is changed at the very last minute. She has a heart for others, and I appreciate everything that she does for 96 Primary School.
Thank you.
Good evening. At 96 Elementary School, we have adopted life traits that align with the profile of a South Carolina graduate. Each month, we recognize students and staff members who exhibit the life traits that set our school up for success. For the month of March, the life trait was courage. For April, the life trait was communication. This evening, we celebrate 4 special individuals from 96 Elementary School that were chosen by their colleagues for exhibiting these traits and to receive the Heart of the Wildcat Award. Miss Chrissy Jabert, a 4th grade teacher, and Mr. Ben Griffin, our school custodian, are recognized for exhibiting courage. Courage in a school setting can look a bit different than what we generally come to mind. We usually think of acts that require great bravery or fearlessness. However, these 2 demonstrate courage by standing up for our students on a daily basis. They show up and give their best each and every day. They always show courage by taking on difficult tasks that others may shy away from, like cleaning up student spills, or by taking risks like trying a new approach with a student that is having a tough time. There is a quote by Brené Brown that says, "Courage is contagious." We certainly hope that Ms. Jabert and Mr. Ben's courage is the contagious kind, because we could benefit from it. So thank you, Mr. Burt and Mr. Ben, for always showing courage. If you'll come forward. Mr. Ben couldn't be here tonight. And for the month of April, we would like to recognize Ms. Hannah Cheney, a fourth grade teacher, and also Ms. Lucy Manley, our ESOL teachers, for recognized for the life trait of communication, if you'll come forward. As we know, solid communication skills are paramount for success in life. We're fortunate to have two teachers that model good communication practices like giving their full attention to others, speaking with respect, sharing ideals while recognizing the contribution of others, because their example or our students are learning an important, valuable skills for success. Ms. Cheney and Ms. Manley, thank you for shining each and every day and for everything that you do for our school. Thank you so much.
Up a little bit. Good evening. A little bit taller than they are. Good evening. I'm going to recognize our teacher of the month is Miss Melody Owings. She'll come up, please. Ms. Owings doesn't like to stand in front of adults. She would much rather stand in front of children on a daily basis. 3 years ago, I was introduced to Ms. Owings as she was finishing her student teaching in '96. She brought me her resume and she said, "If you ever have an opening, let me know." Well, I had an opening a day after she turned in her contract to another district. So I called and I begged for her to pull that contract back. But she wouldn't do it. She said, "I've already made a commitment. I'm going to be there." And I said, "I won't forget." 2 years later, I called her. She said, "You didn't forget." I said, "No, I did not forget." So, where Shoals is not happy with me, but I brought her on board. I brought on board this year, and she has taught sixth grade science all year. She has been a wonderful addition. I've always thought that the elementary and primary background that she had didn't really fit her personality. She is much more of a middle school teacher, and I think that everybody in the building will agree. Last year we finished the year with 46% met and above on our sixth grade science scores, which is a very commendable score. From her last benchmark, Ms. Owings had 61% met and above with her scores. And so we are looking for good things to come out of state testing that will be happening in just under a couple of weeks. So my teacher of the month is Melody Owings.
And for 96 High School, we have our support staff. Person of the month is Miss Paulette Williams. Everyone knows that Mr. Rhodes is the cafeteria manager, but Miss Paulette runs the cafeteria. So we all know that one. So she's awesome. Everyone loves her. The kids love her. She does a great job. Our staff teacher of the month is Mr. Kevin Latham. I think this is his second time winning this one. He does a great job. He's one of our young, strong teachers in the building. The kids respect him. His colleagues respect him. He does a great job. So Mr. Kevin Latham and Ms. Paulette Williams.
Now, at this time, we're going to recognize our Edgewood Middle School junior scholars.
All right. This year we have three junior scholars, or three South Carolina junior scholars. For those of y'all that don't know what a South Carolina junior scholar is, our select eighth graders take the PSAT in October, and based on the scores that they receive, they have to score either a 550 in the ELA portion, the reading portion of the PSAT, or a 530 in the math portion of the PSAT. All three of these students, eighth graders, scored well over 1,000 on the PSAT as an eighth grader. They are way smarter than the principal is that are standing up here. So I want to recognize these three individuals, and the reason we had to wait until May to recognize these, one, the scores don't come out until December, but these three are so busy with so many other things Some of them are still active in the things that they're doing right now, that we had to wait until the end of the school year to try and find a time to squeeze into their schedules when they can be recognized. So, first, I would like to recognize Jocelyn Coleman. Come on up. Jocelyn actually qualified in ELA and math. She had a high enough score in ELA and math. So, congratulations. You need to stand up there in front because we got to take a bunch of pictures too. The second one I want to recognize, I will say that he definitely got his intelligence from his mother and not his father, is Eli Schoolfield. And the third one, last but definitely not least, is Logan Surratt. If he would come up, please. Like I said, these guys are all involved in a ton of stuff. Logan played football this year. Logan is also on Mr. Rice's shotgun and clay shooting team. Jocelyn is still currently involved in the playoffs right now with softball. We have big games tomorrow night, hopefully only one and not two. But she also played volleyball for the school this year. Eli also played baseball, and he is still currently on the academic team as well. They'll be going to New Orleans in just a couple of weeks. So these three individuals are extremely busy with everything they're doing, and I just want to say from the school, we appreciate your hard work, and we look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do in the future as well. So, big round of applause for you guys. Congratulations. And there's a bumper sticker that is in that, so parents, slap it on the back of your car and let everybody know you got the right kid. That's right.
Thank you. Congratulations again. At this time, we'll have our superintendent's report. Dr. Taylor?
Thank you. In your packet, there is information concerning professional leaves, fundraisers, and overnight trips. Uh-oh, I just cleared the room. Wow. Are there any questions concerning those requests? All right, there's also a parenting report that's been prepared for you to look at. Any questions about the report? All right, we also have a report from Lieutenant Budrow. He is here to share information on the SRO monthly report.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, members of the board. In your packet, you will have the monthly report for April, the 1st through the 30th. The primary school had 1, elementary 0, Edgewood 0, high school 2, alternative 0, transportation 2, the stadium property 1, and the district office 0, which gives you 7. The difference from last year was 11, so that's -4. This time last year, it's 20, -13. On April 19th, 2023, RAID, Resistance Against Illegal Drugs, brought their canine detection dog to Greenwood High and Middle School campus, and I learned on several items, but nothing was found in anyone's possession at either school. On the 25th of April, 2023, 96 Primary School conducted their active intruder drill for the 4th 9 weeks of instruction. The staff was informed that there will be a drill during the week of the 25th, but we're not told the date or the time of the drill. When the drill was called, their students and staff in various locations on campus did as they were trained to do by getting students in a safe area on campus. Law enforcement, including SROs, did not respond to the school until they heard it announced over the Greenwood County Communications Dispatch. This was to check the response time for officers to arrive at the school. The first officer arrived within seconds. After the school administration and law enforcement cleared the campus and the lockdown was lifted and school resumed as normal. On the 28th of April, 2023, the 96 Elementary School conducted the active intruder drill for their 4th 9 weeks. When the drill was called, the students and staff were in their classrooms. Staff did as they were trained to do by getting their students into a safe area or hard corners in their classrooms. After the administration and law enforcement cleared the campus, the lockdown was lifted and school resumed as normal. Any questions? Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, and then, a month or two ago, we were notified that we would not have our athletic trainer returning for next year. So we advertised that position, and we did it on the district webpage like we normally do. We also went to the South Carolina Athletic Trainers Association, and we had no interest. We did look around to find out that there are a number of places looking for athletic trainers, and so we were unable to find anyone. So Mr. Rice, Coach Wirtz, Mr. Mackey, and myself contacted PlaySafe, which is a service that is provided by Self Regional that provides service to a lot of the neighboring districts for their athletic training. And so we met with them. We talked about how this works, trying to figure out how we fund it, how they help with the funding, and what is available to us, because they too are also looking for athletic trainers. So we're all struggling for the same thing. We've also talked to and emailed some of our doctor friends and people at Self to try to get behind us. And yes, they're very supportive of what we're trying to do, but there's other districts looking for athletic trainers. So they did sign a contract. We did an MOU with them, so we feel good about that. We worked with our attorney, Alex Sherrod, to get that taken care of, because it's sort of a different look at what we've been doing. We have been spoiled with having an athletic trainer available all the time, but he has just, he's dynamic and he does everything. He's filling in gaps all the time. But I did see some of these people, and we've looked at some of the other schools when we visited games, and they do a great job. I mean, they're doing their part. They get in, and they're not there all day long, but at 2 o'clock they come in and they take care of their business, and they're very professional. And so we're very pleased with that. So what they could not guarantee a person specifically for our district, but they are working on finding someone at this time. Hopefully we'll have someone that wants to be here and be a part of it. But in the meantime, they have something called temporary coverage, which is a daily, it's sort of like having a substitute. And so it may be somebody that can come for a few days in a row or somebody every day, but they said that they could guarantee us that we would have a person. But like I said, we will miss Coach Deal and all that he has to offer. He does a great job, but we hope that PlaySafe will jump in and do the same. So we appreciate the fact that they are willing to work with us, and we look forward to working with them next year. Do y'all have any questions about that? No. Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mackey?
Oh, I'm used to Kathy going next, so it threw me off. All right, so the monthly financial report. Through April, we're sitting about $11.8 million in revenue that we've received. We've spent about $10.4 million, so we're trending really well towards the end of the year. If you look at the, I've provided the list of expenditures as I have for the last few months. Everything, for the most part, looks pretty good, trending in the right direction. Nothing unusual at this moment. So, any questions on the monthly financials? All right. I'll move on to our capital project update. Old high school project. We had our kickoff meeting with Hood Construction, McMillan, Pasden, Smith, our architects, on April 24th. They met with our district team, I guess you could say, me, Dr. Taylor, Darren Rice, B.J. Wirtz, David Vickery, David Rourke, our main instructor. So we met with them, sort of went over the where the blueprints stand now. We walked the building, sort of looked at everything. So that ball is rolling. I get emails almost every day from the architect asking about preference for certain items like toilets. So I don't know anything about that. So if you guys have a toilet preference, let me know. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a lot to pick from, but apparently there are different brands and everything. So it's getting really into the detail stage now. So hopefully things go well after 7 o'clock tonight. We had one RFP out there for financial audit services. The RFP was published April 10th. Bids were due April 28th. We got 4 bids. Martin Smith out of Greenville, they're the ones who've done it the last 2 years. Manley Garvin in Greenwood. Phillips CPA and Advisors in Greenville. And then Darver Kelly is another auditing firm out of Greenville. They were the 4 bids we had. We had an evaluation team read those and score those on May 5th. It was out of 125 points. The evaluation team scored it, their technical proposal out of 100, and then I allocated the cost portion out of 25 points. Lowest bid got 25, and then everyone else got a percentage of that based on their relationship to the low bid. And the firm that scored the highest was Manley Garvin out of Greenwood. So we will plan to issue an intent to award for them, pending your feedback. Okay.
Is the cost overall gonna be up from last year or down? from
It'll
last
go up.
year?
Martin Smith is pretty well known, I'll say, for being extremely low. So it will be about $10,000 more. The other 3 firms were right around the same cost. So it is going to be about a $10,000 increase. But I believe we'll also get more from what we're paying for. Martin Smith did the entire audit in a day and a half. Other audit firms they're on site for a week to 2 weeks. They come in the spring for initial audit work, then they come back in the fall for a week or 2. They look at a lot more items, so I think it's just sort of quantity over quality kind of thing. I will say Manley Garvin also audits Greenwood County, so all of our state and federal money flows into the county, and then they send it to us from there. So having an audit firm who audits us and essentially the agency that holds our money is just an added layer of assurance, because if something's wrong on the county side, they can catch it and immediately update our financial statements. So it just cuts down on some of the...
It flows together.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then project updates. If you've driven by the elementary school at all recently, you've seen a fence going up. So finally seeing some progress there. I'm anticipating cameras going in, being ready to go in at the elementary school any moment now. We're still waiting for all the equipment to be delivered. 96 playground equipment will be in this month. We had Bob, this is not on your sheet because it happened after we had to do the board packet. Bob met with the camera people and walked through the primary school to map out sort of what our needs would be. We got a bid and a quote, or not a bid, a quote from them that was satisfactory, under what we had budgeted for initially when we budgeted for this a few months ago. So we've signed that and got that ball rolling too. So who knows how long it'll take to get equipment, but we should eventually have cameras in all our buildings. And that's it for the capital project update. And I'll move forward to the first reading of the budget. You guys ready to do this all over again? I'll do the abridged version because we've already gone through this in detail. Our budget, we're budgeting $16,523,118 in revenue. We're budgeting $16,523,118 in expenditures, so we have a balanced budget. It's about an 8% increase from where we were last year. Do we have to have this? Do they have to make a motion to approve this first reading?
First reading?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. Is there any questions about any of the enlightening information I've provided? Cool.
Thank you for all your good work.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. All right, I think the first thing that we're gonna look at tonight are policies. So if you would turn to page 46 in your packet, you will be able to locate the first policy that we're looking at. This really falls more under finance and Andrew's domain. Andrew has reviewed this policy. It's policy DGD on credit card use. It deals with how we're going to allow credit cards to be issued, district credit cards, the processes for turning in those credit cards, and it also outlines some consequences for misuse of those cards. So this is a first reading policy. We currently do not have a policy that even comes close to this. So there's no old versus new. There's just new. So I'm going to leave this here for you to think about over the time between this meeting and next meeting, and ask me any questions or email that you might have that you'd like to address. All right, the next two policies, GCQE is retirement of professional staff. GDQC is retirement of support staff. You'll see in your packet, starting on page 47, you got the old policy for GCQE, and then you have the new, and then the that's professional, then you go into support staff after that. The major difference between the old and the new is that PIBA rules have changed from the old to the new. And we kind of went over that during our call meeting when you had to approve the retirees, and why that was such that it was because of PIBA rules. So these two policies align with the new retirement system and their rules about retirement. So I'm going to leave those two with you for review. And then we have policy KFD, which is a clear bag usage policy. There is no existing policy for that, so it's brand new. But a couple years ago, we talked about our clear bag usage and what all that meant, and we have been using clear bag policies pretty consistently throughout our district and our school events. This just kind of tightens that up just a little bit. So administrators have reviewed this policy as well, and it sits with you for first reading. Okay. And then last but not least, we have policy BEDM, which is electronic participation in board meetings. As you can see, electronic participation is sometimes needed, and so I wanted to bring this policy to you for first reading. It outlines the fact that board members can participate by telephone. They can participate by Zoom meetings. It does have some issues with executive session. You know, in order for somebody to participate in executive session via electronic means, you have to vote to allow that before you go into executive session. They always have to stay in communication with you. They have to be able to see. They have to be able to hear, except on the phone. I actually hear like on a speakerphone. They have to be able to vote, and you have to be able to hear the vote going back and forth. So I'm going to leave this with you also as first reading. So you have, let's see, 5 policies for first reading, and next time they'll come back for second. So in the interim, any questions or comments before we move on tonight? Okay, and then email me any questions or comments you have going forward between now and the next meeting. Okay? Go. Okay. All right, personnel, we have a 23-24 hiring recommendation. Tonight I bring before you candidate A for consideration. I'm seeking a motion to employ candidate A, please.
Guys, you have that in front of you. Just ask, I need a motion and a second to approve this candidate A.
I'll make a motion to approve candidate A.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And you have eye on the screen as
Yep.
well.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, the board has elected to employ Miss Emily Rodriguez. Emily Rodriguez will replace Mr. Charlie Floyd at Edgewood Middle School as a 7th grade social studies teacher. And Mr. Schofield, if you will inform Ms. Rodriguez this evening that she's been approved. Okay. All right, so now we're going to give you a little bit of an update about where we are with hiring. Wasn't too long ago at the last meeting, as a matter of fact, the call meeting that we went over Savannah Thrasher being hired at the 96 primary school, and she was actually, I believe she was your guidance secretary, is that correct, Kelly Graham, Savannah Thrasher? Special ed assistant. The day after we approved her, Dr. Taylor did, she resigned and decided she wanted to go somewhere else. So Ms. Weeks had already had some interviews going and several interviews on this position, so we just went to the next that she felt in line to recommend. And so Miss Lauren Wales has been approved by Dr. Taylor to fill that position of special education teaching assistant at 96 Primary School. I did receive a few minutes ago a resignation, but I'm really not willing to talk about that one yet from a certified staff member. But we'll announce that formally the next time. I hate to do that now because I did receive it in the middle of this meeting a few minutes ago. Okay, so this leaves us with a bus monitor job that's open for next year. That's a 3-hour job. We have a high-vac mechanic job that is still been posted. No applicants thus far. We have a bus driver. We have a speech pathologist and a special education teacher. Miss Kelly Fisher, Director of Special Education, is working with a company to secure the speech pathologist. And I think she's working with a third party to see what she can find or some internal movement for the special education teacher that we have left. Basically, those are the jobs that we have left. I'd like to personally thank every principal that is in this room tonight. You guys have worked, and ladies, really, really, really hard to get these interviews done, to get good people hired, to get them in the right positions. Can honestly say other districts are not in the spot we're in right now. And so that's great to have all of these positions pretty much hired or accounted for, minus the few classified that we have. I think we've also made some very good hires. I don't think it's just about having a warm body. I think we've been able to secure some pretty good people that will help our children grow, and that's what this is all about. Your continued support through the budget, through the salary changes, through the things that you're doing for recruitment and retention are very much appreciated. It makes our life easier on this end to keep drawing good people. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. All right, are there any other questions, concerns? Okay, that's it for me.
All righty, any other things from, all right, hearing none, that concludes our meeting. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I got a motion, is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all for coming.
You actually got one on that one.